Hey, I've decided to do a video just to save time and to reach more people and just to get this out here. So, let's see if I can get this done here this morning. I know this year, 2020, has been just really bizarre. So much happening, just continuously, different things, and it's caused a lot of anxiety, fears. This year, it even, I think it feels kind of like the Twilight Zone. I just don't know what to expect next. And if you remember that series, television series years ago, I would say we're getting there. It's just crazy. And I know there's a lot of different views and different opinions of what things are happening, why, and that. And one thing I think we can agree on is it's leaving with us with a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about the future, about America's future. It's very alarming, some things that are happening, and we don't know. We don't know the future, even the few weeks ahead of us. Maybe some hard times. So, with that being said, I feel to share some things that I've experienced back in my 20s. I really feel that it's relevant right now to share these things. I think it's important, and so that's what I want to do. And so I want to start with, I just want to start with mentioning how fragile and critical it's the time of in our life, that season of coming of age, those years, 16, 17 to 20, 21, that time of life is just really, it's just so critical because of just decisions and choices we make during that time in our life can really just totally affect the course of our whole life. And so I just mentioning that to say that, number one, if you know a young person, we really need to really try to reach out to them and give them a little direction and lead them, if you can, in any way to better choices, and just be a mentor to them, And I mentioned that to say, for me in my life during that time, I wasn't sure. I came to a place where I wasn't sure if I believed in God. And I didn't really start out that way, but over time, that's what I came to a conclusion. I'm not sure what I believed. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if there was a God. So, coming of age, that was where I was at in my mind, in my thinking. And people that know me probably be surprised to know that if you've not heard some of my story. You'd probably be more surprised of why came to those conclusions, or you may not. It may make sense. But so I'll mention two things. Number one was the public schools. Public schools had a part for me coming to that kind of conclusion in my life at that time. Also, number two would be church. And so those were things that probably surprised some of the people. But just to explain a little bit as far as school, what I gathered from the experience of school is I began to see things as everything was relative. Nothing was exactly right or wrong. Everyone had opinions. So what was right for one person wasn't right for another. And so it's just like that. It's just no absolute right or wrong. It's just relative, whatever you think you believe. And so that's what I kind of took away from that and gathered. That's one thing. But church, I'm not going to go into that exactly why that kind of led me to the conclusion. I'm not sure if there is a God. I'll just, as I share, I think you can draw your own conclusion and kind of it'll kind of be clear as I share my story. So that's what I'm feeling to do. And so I'm going to start now about when I was 21. I ended up in California. And with an opportunity, I was offered some training and I'd have a job in Cincinnati, actually, after a few months of training. You know, I'm not going to go in a lot of detail with this, but there's a reason I'm mentioning it. So it was a paid trip to California. You know, I was like 21, so as I wasn't really mature enough to go and do that and go there by myself. It was quite an experience. But also, once I'm there and just experiencing the atmosphere and the people involved and the leadership there and just that's the whole experience, I began to feel like just uneasy with everything, with what was happening and what I was, just the place. And I felt as though I was at a crossroads. I couldn't get past this feeling that I'm at a crossroads right now, and I was heading down a certain path, and if I continue on this path, this is what I was sensing, I just kind of knew I'm heading somewhere with this, with my choices and what I'm doing, where I'm at. And if I continue, I'm not going to get back. I'm not going to get back to where I am. I'm not going to get back to who I am. And this is just critical. It's an urgency. I have to choose. I'm choosing right now by making the choices I'm making. And I was coming face to face with that question, which I really just kind of threw off. I wasn't really facing that question. Do I really believe in God or not? Do I not? Do you really believe in God, or do you really not believe in God? And so I was really face to face with, that's what I was facing in my mind. And I felt I had to decide. You know, I had to decide with that. I don't know. How do I don't have the information. I mean, I don't have anything to go on here. How do I decide that? And, but I could not shake that. I couldn't move past. I'm making the decision, and that's, I've got to choose. And somehow I just felt I can't go this way. Something inside of me, I don't know, some part of me somewhere, I know there's God, and I can't continue in this path. I can't. So I left, and I went back to Kentucky. So that was that. And just, you know, I didn't have interest in spiritual things and church and being in church, and I just had none of those desires to do that and to be there. I was, you know, 20 something, doing the regular things kids do, just making ends meet, getting by, having a good time, doing those things. And so I kind of just went on about my life. But so it was some time that went by, about a year, really super bad with timing. So a year and a half, a few months, somewhere in that time frame, I had an experience that really just turned me upside down, just really flipped the direction of just an internal thing, you understand. And of course, I had nothing on my mind regarding God, spirituality, church, whatever. It wasn't on my mind, okay? But I had a dream. I had a dream one night, and I dreamed I was on this road, a one-lane road, with kind of in the country, kind of like in a holler, and I was with a few people. I don't know who they were. I don't remember, but it was a few people, and so we started noticing the sky, and part of the sky began to open. It just began to open, And angels began filling the sky. And then Jesus came out, and he was in the sky, and the sky was full. It was just beautiful, majestic. It was captivating. I know I was sensing and feeling, wow, I can't believe this is real. This is real. It's really happening. And it was exciting. It was thrilling. It was thrilling, and it was exciting, and it was just overwhelming. And then I heard a voice say to me, he's not coming for you. You're not ready. So when I heard that, there was a sense of, just an overwhelming sense of hopelessness, of fear, and regret. Fear, I don't know how to describe this kind of experience, but it was so real and vivid. I never had a dream so like this. It's almost not a dream. It was just so real. And it was an experience. I was experiencing this. And I was shaking and crying in my sleep. And I woke up crying and shaking. I felt like the ceiling was going to fall in. I didn't know what to do. It was the middle of the night. I stayed up a long time just talking with God and praying that he not come till I was ready, to do whatever it took to save me. And I really meant to do whatever he had to do in my life, whatever had to happen, whatever that was. I mean, it really didn't matter. Just whatever it took, just save me, do whatever it takes to save me. I didn't have the love of spiritual things, or desire to be with God, or be in church, or I didn't have that thing in my heart that wanted that. But I wanted to want to, if that makes sense. I wanted to want to. I wanted to understand, and I wasn't really processing all those things that I'm explaining right now, but over time it makes more sense. But at the time I didn't know what to do. I just prayed, do whatever it takes, Lord, just do whatever it takes to save me. And of course, after that experience, I was obsessed with end-time events and prophecy, whatever I could get to read. I'd read, Revelation. I'd order books and end-time things, and I was really focused. And my question was, how long do I have? How long is it until he comes? How much time do I have? Because in my understanding, all I understood is you just choose the right path. Obviously, do the right thing and follow the rules. What to do and what not to do. We kind of know these things. It's just a matter of doing that. But I felt like, I guess I could make myself do these things, but I don't know if I can do that for 50 or 60 years. So that was my thinking. How long, how time, I mean, honestly, how long can I wait until, I get it together? I go to church and sit, and, that was my attitude. That's how I felt. And, so, it's always in the back of my mind, how, where are we in prophecy? Where are we at? So, I even started going to church. We started going to church here and there, different denominations, and just checking everything out. I don't know what to do, but I'm just got questions, and I had tried to find the answers to those things. So, over a course of quite a bit of time, searching and, reading what I could, I finally, I started hearing some things in church. people started, talking a little bit about their experience with God, and that, He changed their heart. He changed their heart. He changed their desires. The things they used to like, they didn't like anymore, and the things they like now, they hadn't before, and it just, their heart changed. And I'm like, I was just blown away, to be honest. I never had heard that. I never heard that your heart changes, that he does that. I'm like, he does that? I mean, and I was really upset that, I'm born in America. There's a church in every corner. Every corner, there's a church somewhere. I was almost 30 years old. I didn't know that. I never heard of that. How could I? How? It just blew my mind. How could I have never heard that? That he changes your heart. He comes in and does something for you that you can't do for yourself. You can't make yourself like something you don't like. You like what you like. You can pretend all day, and you can sit there and you can pretend that you're a good person, and you're following the rules, but really you don't really want to. So I had a new quest. How does that happen? How does that happen? How do you make that happen? I can't make that happen. So I had a new quest. I was looking for him. I was looking, how does that happen? So I was reading more about Jesus, about God, about him. Anything I could find, I'm trying to understand and grasp. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? How? And over time, after searching with all my heart, I had an encounter. I had an encounter with him one time. One time I had an encounter. It wasn't even in church. It wasn't in church. But I had an encounter. I had a revelation, an understanding, just from reading inspired things about him, reading the Bible and reading his word and reading about who it is and about love. And I just had this overwhelming understanding just come over me as an experience, an encounter of how much he loves us and the sacrifice he made, and what lengths he's gone to reach us. And just, I can't explain it, but it was an encounter of an understanding, and it changed. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I realized, there's something I want more than I ever wanted. There's something, I don't care about the things anymore. All of a sudden, I wanted him. I wanted more of God. I wanted to understand more. That was more important and more interesting and more exciting and more thrilling than the things of the world or anything I'd been doing or been a part of. Or all of a sudden, it just lost its interest, just like that. Just an encounter. And that's what people need. That's what people that are broken, that's people that are, deep into drugs, deep into some criminal behavior. They've never met him, and a lot of people, unfortunately, and a lot of people in church have never met him. If you are just trying to get by, trying to be saved, trying to do the right things, and that's good. That's good. We need to try. We need to make efforts. But if it's a burden, if it's, following the rules, there's a difference between religion and relationship. There's a difference of being in church and being in Christ. There's a difference. And if you are focused on, rules and do's and don'ts, and okay, well, I'm going to go to church because, and I got to, feed the poor, and I have to do these things, and I'll be okay. I'll be all right. Okay? You don't know him yet. You don't know him. So I encourage you, if that's you, if you've never had an interest in God and you're scared right now, or if you've been in church for 50 years and it's just kind of boring, or it's just kind of, well, just something you have to do. I encourage you just to seek after him, to pray to him, to ask him to show you who he is, give you that experience, and don't stop. Don't stop until you find him. And so I just want to share that, as well as I know, we're not promised tomorrow. A lot of people have had experiences or dreams or a vision of the second coming, and since that was a time in my 20s, and I've imagined and kind of hoped, he would come in my lifetime, and we don't know that. We don't know how long it's, it really seems like things are really happening quick right now this year, but still we don't know. But regardless, if how soon or how far along it is before he returns, we're not promised tomorrow, and we take that a lot for granted, and we don't know when our time ends and when something would happen, an injury, a death, a sickness all of a sudden. And I just want to urge you to be prepared, to make that a priority. Make it a priority to be sure that you're ready. Be sure you're ready. Think about your family, your friends that might not know him. What can you share? What could you witness and about your own life that might inspire them to have more interest in and seek after him. We're called to be, a kingdom-minded people. We're called to minister and to be a light. It's not just for the pastor. It's not just for him to reach everyone. We're supposed to all be discipled and be in the Word and be studying. This is some exciting times. Things are happening. And so I wanted to share, that what I experienced back then, because it is powerful, I think. And I didn't want to keep it to myself. If it helps someone to realize, they need to be prepared. Things are real. This is real. So I just wanted to share that, and that we can be ready individually, but also as a church body, as believers. I just we've got to get it together. What are we doing? Is there a reason God has shut down a lot of the churches? They're not. We need to be out there more. Just be blunt. We need to be out in the highways and the byways, and out where people are. Not everyone's just going to walk in church, and we can't just wait for that to happen. We've got to go find them. We've got to go just be a witness to them, just to connect with people, show them grace, show them mercy, show them some love. Don't think of ourselves as too important. God can use anybody. We've got to reach out to people more. We've got to get it together as believers. I don't want to see the stones cry out, the rocks cry out. We've got to do more as believers. It just breaks my heart that the church, called or looked upon as non-essential, powerless. Basically, church is powerless. That's basically what the world is saying. I know that's not every church. I know some of the churches are doing some awesome things. They're really reaching out. They're having, a lot of repentance is happening. A lot of revivals are stirring up, and we're going to see more of that. And I'm excited. I'm jealous for the name of God. I'm jealous for his name, that he be lifted up, that people see that he's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Just as he did miracles back then, he can do them now, even more. We have the Holy Spirit inside us. when we walk in a room, we should expect demons to flee. We should expect a shift in the atmosphere. We need to be so connected with him that we can hear what he's saying, that we can be have discernment to, not everything is of him. We know that. We need to have discernment, and we just need to be ready. So I've talked long enough, okay? So, I don't usually get a lot of feedback when I share stuff. And so I wonder sometimes if did anyone see that actually? So, if you have watched this, it'd be great if you could give me a thumbs up or a smiley face or any kind of comments or questions, or, if you want to know more about something, just reach out to me. I'm going to share this to quite a lot of people. And another thing is, if you want to connect with me, like on email, I've got a new email, and this is good. This is it's called what it is. It's what's really happening at yahoo.com. What's really happening at yahoo.com. That's good. And so I'm going to use that, and sharing links. If I do more videos, or come across a video, there's some awesome stuff happening out there with people sharing their experience, testimonies, just dreams, or a lot of people having dreams of the second coming. Kids, little children are just pointing and saying, he's coming, he's coming. Things are happening. It's exciting, and I want to share things I come across. I'm like, oh man, if people could just see this, if you want to stay connected with me like that, where I could send links and just share stuff as I come across things. I don't know how much longer I will be on Facebook or other people. Facebook's getting, they really censor a great deal of things. There's coming a time, a lot of people will probably leave Facebook, honestly. So that's a way to just stay connected. If you want to get on my email, and so I have your email, and I'll keep a list of people that do that. Okay, so stay strong, and I'm going to get off here, and I hope this is a blessing to you. I hope it's helped someone to seek out something that's more important than the things in this world, and think about some eternal things. Okay, God bless. Bye bye.